actually happened on Newsnight? I'll tell you. In a Newsnight debate that was supposed to be on the horrendous chemical attack on a mother and her 2 young daughters in Clapham the other night, MP Caroline Nokes decided that she was far more passionate about talking about microaggressions than she actually was about fixing our broken asylum system. But hold on, what has the broken asylum system got to do with the Clapham chemical attack? Well, the suspect is an Afghan migrant who came here illegally by lorry in 2016, had 2 asylum claims refused, then, after being convicted of a sexual offence, was then granted asylum on his 3rd application. Am I the only one mildly concerned at the fact that our Home Office granted the asylum claim of a man who was a convicted sex offender? Caroline and the Labour MP next to her on the panel don't seem too concerned.
His asylum status, though, is not really the issue of concern. The issue is that he would attack a woman and her children in this particular way.
Well, it was done by the courts, and I think it's important to reflect on that. A judge has come to the conclusion that this individual should be granted asylum. None of us know the circumstances of that, and I think it's wrong to comment on that at the current time. But I think Belle makes a really important point here, and it's about perpetrators of crime, it's about the offender's journey.
They seem far more concerned talking about these microaggressions, which supposedly all women experience every single day.
The media, journalists are not interested in microaggressions. They want to hear about the most egregious
I think
offences.
some of us want to hear about microaggressions.
And the stark reality is that every day women will face misogyny and microaggressions. If you're a woman of colour, it will be worse.
I'm a woman and I don't experience microaggressions every single day. They seem far more concerned talking about that than they do the real issues at hand, which is the fact that our Home Office allows people to stay in this country who A, came here illegally, and B, have been convicted of sex offences. MP Caroline Nokes and this Labour MP on the panel are trying to excuse the asylum system by making this weird link from microaggressions to the Clapham attack, suggesting that because we don't teach men enough in school not to commit microaggressions against women, this is what has indirectly caused this attack. This guy didn't even go to school in this country. He came here from Afghanistan illegally on a lorry in 2016. I don't think it's the school system. And I don't think it's our culture that's the problem. It's their culture. Now, a bit more on who this guy is. So this guy came here in 2016 on a lorry illegally from Afghanistan. He made 2 asylum claims, both of which were rejected. Then in 2018, he was convicted of sexual assault. 2 years after that, his probation monitoring ended because he had finished the unpaid work that he was required to do. And then after that, after he made a 3rd application to the Home Office, his asylum claim was weirdly accepted. Why is the Home Office accepting almost every single asylum claim that comes towards them, even if it is literally a sex offender? The Home Office have clearly lost all of their backbone, and the statistics show it. Look at this horrendous graph, which shows the percentage rise in the number of asylum claims that we're accepting. We seem to accept almost everybody. Now you might say, Chloe, look, this is just a one-off event. We can't say that the Home Office's incompetency is really having an effect on the safety of people, and women in particular, in this country. To that I say, no, this has happened time and time again. This is not a one-off event. Let me give you a few examples. A Rochdale grooming gang leader was found guilty in 2012 of being the leader of a grooming gang which gang raped around 47 young girls as young as 12 years old. He only stayed in prison for 2.5 years and then was allowed back into the community. He was supposed to be deported time and time again, but appealed and appealed on that old chestnut, human rights. And even though he actually lost the appeal, have the Home Office got rid of him? No, of course they haven't. Pakistan have said, no, we don't want the grooming gang leaders back, you can keep them in the UK. And these 2 grooming gang leaders have actually renounced their Pakistani citizenship, and they have now been rendered stateless, so Pakistan can't take them back. And so we're stuck with them. And at least one of them is still living in Rochdale to this day, over a decade after he was convicted, and those poor young girls have to still live in the community with this man who used and abused them in just the most vile way humanly imaginable. We had last summer a Channel migrant who came here illegally by boat rape a woman only 40 days after arriving here illegally. We also had in December 2 of the migrants who were living on the Bibi Stockholm barge were arrested on suspicion of a sex attack on women in a local nightclub. And that's just a few examples. Nobody aside from me seems to have the backbone to say that men coming here from countries that have a very poor record on their treatment of women are more likely than the average Brit to treat women in this country poorly. I got a lot of stick on social media for saying this on Talk TV. I don't think it is racist to say that having people from countries where women are not treated well in our communities is a threat to women. And if you look at the prominent countries that people are coming from on the small boats, for example, Afghans are one of the most prominent groups. On the Women's Peace and Security Index that looks at how women are treated in various countries, they put Afghanistan last on the list. I got called a racist over and over again in the comments for this clip, but I stand by it because guess where the suspect for the chemical attack in Clapham is from? Afghanistan, the country ranked last in the world by the Georgetown Women's Peace and Security Index. Coincidence? I think not. Someone even commented on my clip saying, "Oh, don't assume that, Chloe. Maybe all of those young men coming on the boats with no women and children with them are fleeing Afghanistan because they were so dismayed by how women are treated in their country. That's why they wanted to come to Britain." Really? The Home Office is responsible for this mess. The chemical attack in Clapham would not have happened if the Home Office had had the backbone to kick this guy out of the country when he should have been. The Home Office are responsible for the Liverpool Women's Hospital bombing because that was committed by a migrant whose asylum claim was rejected in 2014, but the Home Office didn't kick him out and he stayed here until in 2021 he committed a terrorist attack. That attack did not need to happen, and if the Home Office had the guts to get rid of him, it never would have happened in the first place. When does this end? How many people, and girls in particular, need to be attacked and abused for the Home Office to start taking this issue seriously? We cannot allow undocumented, potentially dangerous people to enter this country, and we cannot allow people who have been found to be dangerous, particularly found guilty of sexual offences, to stay in this country. Is that not obvious? I'm Chloe Dobbs, and if you enjoyed this video, make sure you subscribe and ring that notification bell so you don't miss another video.
Have you got what it takes to be a reasoned presenter? Well, send us a short clip of yourself to join@reasoned.uk, and we might be seeing you on this very channel very soon indeed.